Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of My Dog Ate My Podcast. I'm your host, Emily, and every week I chat with a different dog owner about their dog. This week I'm chatting with Jordan about his Australian Labradoodle, Artoo. Enjoy! Hi,
Hi, Bobby.
Artoo. Is he trying to eat something?
Yeah, I was picking his eye boogies. Hmm.
He's like, oh, this is great.
Are
This
we
is
live?
like
Because
third
this
dinner.
is a good this is good content, right?
This is great content. So remind me, because Artoo's birthday is next month, so how old is he right now?
He's
Oh no.
11. Or no, he's almost 11. He's 10.
He's
He's
currently
10 in a
10.
bit because it was 2013. So we got him in 2014. Yeah, he was born in 2014 in November.
In November. Yeah, I think I have his birthday on my
Yeah,
calendar.
so yeah. So he's 10 in a little bit.
10 and a little
So he's
bit.
getting a little bit old, but he shouldn't be too old because he's a mini Labradoodle and they're supposed to live forever, I heard. So he has about
He has forever and
infinity
a
lives.
little bit to go.
Yeah.
And I feel like he hasn't changed much in appearance, right?
He definitely gets gray. He's a little bit grayer. His hair used to be all of this color, like very caramel, very golden. This isn't really so much the lighting. It's just like it's definitely lighter
Mm-hmm.
kind of up here. And he definitely has little white hairs instead of like yellow golden sort of things. Yeah, he's just a little distinguished, but other than that, not too much color change. Whenever we bring him into the vet, they're like, there's no way that this dog is 10 years old because he's definitely really active. He likes kisses.
I was gonna say, I don't feel like his personality has really changed. I don't feel like he's gotten any calmer
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah, he definitely hasn't gotten necessarily too much calmer. He's still really excited when he sees people and likes to run around. We've noticed that he definitely sleeps more.
Do you think maybe is there a possibility that he's also gotten more tired since having a human sister? Like if he just like gets worn out like playing the babysitter and he's just like, yeah, I just
Yeah.
gotta take a
Hmm.
nap.
Yeah, it could be. It's hard to tell because she's like 5 years old. So, it's the difference between him for like being like 6 and 11,
Yeah.
which could just be age also. But I would imagine more when she was little because she would try and pet him, but it'd turn into a slap or like, she'd kind of grab his hair and then like pull. He really didn't like that. But now she doesn't really do that. So I could definitely see before like it was probably a mental strain. But now I think he likes her, but there's definitely a weird thing where he doesn't listen to her at all. Like her voice does not register at all for him. We tried giving our daughter some treats to like train him and give tricks. And whenever she has something, he'll like sit and then he'll look at me and then not her. And
Oh.
I was reading somewhere that it's like random headline of an article that maybe you have to be like around like 10 or 11 for like to properly train a dog just because of like your voice canter
Yeah.
and
He doesn't see her as a source of authority.
yeah,
Quite
definitely not.
yet. To be fair, I don't think R2 really listens to me either because he sees me as like the fun auntie. So
Yeah.
so when you got him, because I didn't know you when you first got him as a puppy, only like a little bit afterwards. Did you already know that you wanted to name a dog R2, or like how did you land on R2? Aside from being like Star Wars fans, how did you land on that?
I don't fully remember. I don't know if we really had a name picked out because we wanted to kind of like see the dogs first because the way that the breeder was doing is like, I think there were 5 puppies in the litter. And so she picked 5 people and then invited us to kind of play with all of them. And she was going to kind of pick based off of, their personalities, what we wanted, and probably also to avoid, fights
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So we were kind of waiting for that. I think we were actually thinking that we were going to get one of the other puppies, like R2 was kind of like, well, maybe kind of the second one. And so we're like, okay, well, so we can kind of figure out a name for that. We settled on R2. We were thinking about like Chewie or something, but like, I don't know if there's another really good Star Wars name. And this was before like the contentious sequels stuff because C-3PO isn't really, that's not really a good one. You could do Luke kind of thing, but then that's
Right,
too
Luke
human
or
namey.
Leia or
Yeah,
like Darth, I guess, for like
right.
a black dog
Darth,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and we thought that we were going to get a black, or he's the only golden one in the litter. Every single other one of his brothers are black. So yeah, Darth could have worked. That might be like, jinxing yourself a bit though, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like you name it Darth and then it like, pees all over the house. And
I like R2 because I feel
yeah,
like I don't think I've met any other R2s versus I know you mentioned Chewy. I think I've met like fluffy brown dogs named Chewy because that
Right.
matches really well.
Right. And one of his brothers is named Chewie too. So that was kind of funny that there's two Star Wars dog names in the same
Yeah.
litter.
So his parents could because he's an Australian Labradoodle, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean about his parents?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it means that they are both miniature Australian Labradoodles, and I know that there's generations on Labradors, right? So like I think he's like at least third because I think first is where like you'll still have like hair shedding and stuff like that, right? Second generation I think is when like they stopped doing that, and I know his parents were like not the shedding ones.
Walk me through. So you had to start bathing him during COVID, right? Was it around COVID?
Yeah,
What
it
was
was
that like bathing and grooming him?
like bathing we would give him baths, but like yeah, the grooming was a pain in the ass. Like whenever we take him to the groomers, they're like, oh, he's great, like he gives us lots of kisses and it's like he's just awesome. And when he's with us, it's just you cannot get him to stay still. It was a struggle. I tried to get one of those, like, I don't know what you call it, but it's basically like a noose, right? It's like you have that clamp thing and you have a little leash and you attach it to their
Oh
neck, right?
yeah,
On their collar, right? And then they just
like a slip lead.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
not a
And
noose.
well, it's like it's
It
up on
is
the thing, and
kind
it's
of.
like it's an
Yeah.
arm, and it's like this, right? So yeah, we got one of them. The little clamp for the table was too small for any of the tables that we had. It was during COVID, and so like we weren't really going out. And the first time we did it, it was definitely our fault because like he hadn't been groomed in forever, so like it was knotted, and so like it's getting caught into all the knots, and so. But like after that, we were pretty good about doing it, and he still just like did not like it, and it would take hours, 3 hours at least to just do it. It was kind of fun to learn. It was very rewarding after because it didn't look like super, super, super bad, but it took a long time.
Like a half day commitment just
Yeah,
to
it was a
groom
half
him.
day commitment. It was not super, super easy.
Completely changing subjects. Walk me through some of the things that R2 has eaten in his lifetime.
I hope this is like vindicating for like other doodle owners because like I feel like he eats a lot of stuff he shouldn't. So butter was definitely I think the first thing that he like stole off of a table, and it was like a full stick of butter. He just like ate it all. I think it was even during Thanksgiving. So it was like stuff is out, like he's puttering around, and then he had like just really quickly jumped onto the seat, jumped onto the table, chunked a bite of butter, went onto the table and started eating it. And so we kind of saw him. We're trying to get after him. It was like "Ah, rah, 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 rah," and trying to eat it as quick as he could. But then after that, there's so much shit that he just eat. He gets into these moods sometimes where like if we leave like a Kleenex box too low on the ground, he'll just like pull it out and he'll like rip it, and he won't really eat it. He'll just like take it out, put his paw on one half and like rip it in half, and then he'll grab out another one and then put his paw on it and just rip it in half. But food wise, like I remember vet visits because he right before we were about to go to Europe, drop him off with my parents, he ate a couple of rib bones.
Oh my
And so
god.
like those are bad, right? Because they could splinter
Yeah.
and puncture or rupture like intestines or stomach or whatever. That one we got really lucky, and I guess he had broken it into small enough pieces. It got down his esophagus without cutting anything, and they're like, well, it's small enough, and I think like the acid will just actually probably dissolve it.
There were
Uh,
cupcakes once too, right?
yeah, there's cupcakes recently, like in the last 5 years, he figured out he can get into plastic bags. We would, come back from shopping or something and, you put all the normal food away, but you have like, stuff in the bag that's on the ground. And so like the first thing he had gotten into was bread. One day, I don't know what got into him, but he like suddenly figured out that he wanted it. He got to the bag, ate a like half loaf of bread, and then ever since then he's like, oh, stuff in plastic bag, maybe food. The recent-ish ones are like in the pantry, some chocolate chips fell down, but they were in, a big Ziploc bag. He had eaten that, and that was kind of a scary one because it was dark chocolate too.
Mhm.
Maybe a month and a half ago, he had gotten into brown sugar that had fallen off of the pantry and was in a Ziploc bag. So he got through the plastic bag, got through the brown sugar bag, and was eating stuff. And we were looking at the Nest camera too, and he like went into the pantry and like he must have eaten some. And then he came back out and he was just like sitting on his little bed and just kind of looking around and like, okay, is anyone coming? Like, am I in trouble? And he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe that was bad. And he goes back into the pantry, eats some more, comes back out. I was like, oh, I don't know.
A couple more questions that I have. So one is what are all of his nicknames?
There's R2, there's Ark Park, there's uh there's Archie McPhee, there's Scruffy McGuffery, there's Choochie Bear. These all make sense though. Like in some contexts, it's like so. There's like R2, right? And then there's like Archie, and then there's Archie McPhee, and then Ark Park. Uh, those are kind of that. Scruffy McGuffery is just because he's
Scruffy.
like yeah, Mr. Woofosaurus Rex. I'm sure there's a couple that I'm missing, but it's stuff like that. We feel bad sometimes because it's like they're like dogs can memorize like what I don't know,
He
like
doesn't
30
know
words
his
or something,
name.
right? Yeah, it's like well he has to like buffer like 16 of those words for like what we call him. He only gets room for like 14 other commands.
And then, what would you say if you had to assign a theme song to R2? What would be his theme
Oh
song?
man, like an existing theme song or like if you're to make one up, like
Either
what would
or.
it be? I feel like it would be a very jovial, like kind of happy go lucky, like wow kind of thing. I don't even know what makes a good theme song just in general, right? It's like is it the lyrics? Is it like how catchy it is? Like
If R2 played for the Seattle Mariners, what would be his like walk-on song? Like you know how every time somebody
oh
goes up to
yeah, that's a
bat
good
and they
question
play a
too.
song, what would be his walk-on song?
I feel like it would change depending on the mood because like there's gonna be some where he's just like silly and like just like super energetic, but there's other one where he's just like a sassy little brat. Maybe like any of the like K-pop Demon Hunter songs, right? Because he's like golden and then he's like very motivational and like yeah we're gonna do really cool stuff and then like Soda Pop because he's like you're my soda pop.
So
And
bubbly.
he's like, yeah, bubbly and like really snuggly and stuff. And then sometimes takedown because he's like, I'm gonna, or I don't.
Yeah,
What
you
is the?
can. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
you
like, I'm
can.
gonna fuck you up. Like,
Okay, well, I can let you guys go. Okay, bye, R2. We'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in, and you can follow R2's adventures on Instagram at R2Doodledoo. That's ARTOODOODLEDOO. R2 would like to shout out the Woodland Park Zoo in Seattle, so if you live in the greater Seattle area and want to check out some awesome animals, be sure to check them out. Thanks, and see you next time.